Press twists Trump's speech to vets. Pete Hoekstra. The veterans in the room heard exactly what I heard, a potential commander-in-chief who is committed to them.On Monday. Donald Trump was invited to speak to a meeting of the Retired American Warriors Association. This is an illustrious group of America's finest men and women who have served in our military. Veterans from all conflicts going back to World War II were in attendance. What an honor it was for me to be invited to participate in this meeting. While it was a great talk, the press coverage of it deserves 5 Pinocchios for false reporting. Trump opened his portion of the meeting by offering an aggressive strategy to confront a looming and growing threat to America on multiple fronts: cyber warfare. It was a comprehensive strategy to protect America's private sector, infrastructure, and our government. He provided another solid strategy to make America stronger and safer. This opening presentation was followed by a question and answer session with the audience. The audience clearly was concerned about what was happening with our troops coming home from war zones. In America, an average of 22 veterans are committing suicide each and every day. That's 20 per day, not per month. Trump responded in a heartfelt and caring way, saying this is totally unacceptable. He made it clear that he stood with our veterans who had suffered the horrors of war, watching their friends be killed or maimed, experiencing the fear of being the targets of live fire, and witnessing the brutality of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. The focus was how terrible war is and how some veterans continue to suffer when they come home because of what they experienced on the battlefield. Trump outlined a plan where veterans would not need to wait to see a doctor to get the help they needed. His plan would bring new accountability to a broken Veterans Administration system that is light and falsified documents and records to protect itself rather than provide the medical care that our veterans need. The military professionals in the room heard and listened to every word. They heard exactly what I heard, a potential commander-in-chief who was emotionally and professionally committed to providing our veterans what they need to counter the terrible care they are receiving from our VI bureaucracy. It was a good morning. But wait, why give the media 5 Pinocchios for their coverage of this event? Because the media reported something totally different. The press falsely reported that Trump said veterans who suffer from PTSD do so because they are weak. Even Politico posted an article titled "Trump appears to suggest veterans with PTSD are not strong" shortly after the exchange that misrepresented Trump's response. Trump was said nothing of the kind in that context. In fact, this is what he said. When people come back from war and combat, and they see things that maybe a lot of the folks in this room have seen many times over, and you're strong, and you can handle it. But a lot of people can't handle it. And they see horror stories. They see events that you couldn't see in a movie. Nobody would believe it. Now we need a mental health and medical. And it's one of the things that I think is least addressed and is one of the things that, like your question, one of the things that I hear the most about when I go around and talk to the veterans. So we're going to have a very robust level of performance having to do with mental health. We are losing so many great people that can be taken care of if they have proper care. You know, when you hear the 22 suicides a day, it's a big part of your question. But when you hear the 22 suicides a day, that should never be. That should never be. So we're going to be addressing that very strongly, and the whole mental health issue is going to be a very important issue when I take over, and the VI is going to be fixed in so many ways, but that's going to be one of the ways we're going to help. And that's in many respects going to be the #1 thing we have to do. Because I think it's really been left behind. Okay. Thank you very much. Chad Robichaud, who asked Trump about this issue, agrees that the media misrepresented Trump in an attempt to politicize an important issue to veterans. Robichaud is a former staff sergeant deployed 8 times to Afghanistan and served as a former Special Operations Force Recon Marine. He said, "I think it's sickening that anyone would twist Mr. Trump's comments to me in order to pursue a political agenda. I took his comments to be thoughtful and understanding of the struggles many veterans have, and I believe he is committed to helping them." I interpreted his answer to affirm that the system is broken and he would take the necessary steps to address it. At the end of the day, Trump is the only candidate who isn't tarnished by the way the current administration has woefully ignored our veterans.